We are back in our favorite beach in Mexico. We're also back on YouTube after a short break and ready to take on 2024 with everything we got.
We fell in love with Puerto Escondido pretty early in our travels. We started traveling full-time in Mexico in January 2021, and we visited Puerto for the first time in March of that same year. And if you know anything about Puerto Escondido, it's that it really boomed and grew immensely during the pandemic. So it is now December 2023, and we're wondering, how much has changed? And that's gonna be the question that we're answering in today's video. And depending on how long you've been following along with us, you may or may not know that we've actually purchased some property here in Puerto Escondido, but we've said very little about that. So for the first time ever, we're gonna be showing you our property.
We've been adapting to life in Mexico City for a few months now, and it has brought up challenges in regards to our YouTube channel. We both work full time now and don't have the same time or energy to make the same quality videos that we used to.
And a lot of that has to do with the busy lifestyle of Mexico City, because if you've seen our Puerto Escondido videos before, like a day in our life in Puerto Escondido, for example, you might recall that we were working 10 to 12-hour days, busy hustling, doing different things, different jobs, and we still were like the healthiest, we still had energy, we still had a social life, like it was great. But in Mexico City, we are run down with like busy commutes, with getting one place to another. Sometimes the pollution can feel a bit heavy. Social life has taken a hit. We've been getting sick more often, and it's just been harder to keep up with all things life and YouTube. But after this brief adjustment period, we're ready for 2024. We're feeling really good about it, especially when you've all been so great, kind, motivating in the comments. People here in Puerto have approached us saying they've watched our previous videos, so that's really motivating to keep going. And we hope that you'll stick around with us for 2024 because we've got some big plans.
So first, what hasn't changed around here?
We still love to stay at Casa Los Odeli because it's our favorite hostel in Puerto Escondido. Everyone here is like one big family, so when we arrived Christmas Eve, we arrived straight to the posada and Christmas Eve dinner, which was awesome. And somehow we always have this luck of being the Maria y Jose representation for like the posada and the singing part. So of course that had to happen again this year. There was piñatas, candy, so much fun. Coming back to Puerto Escondido every time feels like we never left.
It's nice to see the new updates here at Los Odeli. For example, the dorms now have air conditioner. That would have been really nice when we were staying here. We love to stay in the dorms because people kind of get a kick out of it that we're a married couple sharing rooms with 2 or 3 other people.
They've also built this new office building that's got these private workstations, which are good for private phone calls and Zoom meetings, you know, for adding to the co-working space vibes here at Los Odeli. And then they also have this new conference room, which is locked because you're supposed to rent it. The cabin workstations are free to use, you just reserve it, but these I think you have to rent it for like larger business meetings. But the best part, I think, are the updates to the rooftop. The menu at Café Los Odeli has some updates too. They've improved with combos, new huevos playa, new smoothie, burritos, sandwiches. They're so delicious. We're trying everything we can. Let's see if the Mercado Cicatela has changed at all. I mean, they decorate for the season, which is great. I don't see too much different. Looks...
There's more business.
You see more businesses? All right, we'll have to take a look. Let's see if our favorite spot for mole amarillo is still here. We've been visiting our usual favorite restaurants like El Búnker de JP, which is a fresh seafood spot serving only cold platters tucked away behind a car wash, so that hasn't changed. We had the tiritas de pescado, the fish strips, and the aguachile negro, which was so good.
And then we went to La Morena, which is one of our other favorite seafood spots. They actually ended up moving locations about 2 to 3 blocks up north. And the food is so good. I even think the quality got even better at La Morena. The location is really cool, tucked inside a house. So make sure if you want to have some delicious seafood and camarones al coco, check it out.
And another favorite, we have a lot of local favorites around here, Non Solo Pizza, which is my favorite Italian restaurant in all of Mexico. They do handmade, fresh pasta and pizza, and it's just the best. Updates here, I mean, they got a new signage, and now they serve these delicious pickled peppers in like an oil sauce, super yummy, and then everything else is just as good as we remember.
We have so many restaurants that we love here in Puerto Escondido. Not sure that we're gonna fill them all in this video, but we wanna make sure that we didn't miss out on Mercado Cicatela. Walking around Mercado Cicatela now, it looks like it's at full force. Before, there was less businesses that there is now. It looks like there's more vendors and everything's growing here around Puerto Escondido. We see a lot of new restaurants, but it's really good to see that our usual favorites are still thriving.
Okay, we're finally heading to check up on our property after a year and a half, almost 2 years since we've seen it last.
To give people an idea, so this is kind of outside of La Punta. La Punta is one of the main attractions, which a lot of people tend to call the New Tulum, but it has a lot of good restaurants, bars.
Great vibes. So where we're located is just underneath the movie theater, Cine Cicatela, but about a 15-minute walk from all the action in La Punta, the beach, all the bars. We're walking along the main road right now, La Carrera Costera, and we're about to enter through the main entrance for our neighborhood. So this entrance here, there's not much announced other than this clinic sign here, but otherwise you could easily miss it. I'm sure that pretty soon it'll have lots of signage, and hopefully some sort of signage to announce that our place is here, you know, whatever that becomes. It's extra special because we're not only sharing our property with all of you today, we have our friends Karen and Dave.
Hello.
So they're also going to see it for the first time. Are you excited?
Yeah, we're very excited because we really like Puerto Escondido. We came here a long time ago when we got married, and then we know that you also love Puerto Escondido. So what a coincidence!
And very soon we'll have a home here. You'll have a home here because of course you'll be staying with us every time you come. We don't know when that will be, but we're about to see where that's gonna happen. So far we're walking through the neighborhood called Don Goyo, and there are a few solid houses already towards the entrance. Like this one's gorgeous. Look at that. Lots of beautiful houses. This here is a hostel. There's already a hostel in the neighborhood.
Definitely way more construction than we've seen before. This community is coming along pretty nicely. I wonder if all of them are going to be residential houses because they look like residential, or just apartments. Interesting. Rancho.
Ooh, rancho vibes. We got some horses, some burros. Whoa, there's pavement now. This pavement was not here when we first purchased. So it's really exciting to see this really like start from zero. So cool. So this block right here, these are 3 lots right next to each other. Come guys, I'm talking to you.
It's 4.
It's 4? Oh, 4 lots. That's right. So this is one here on this corner. This one's another one. And then these 2 over here that you see with the fence, that's us.
Oh, wow.
So you have 2 lots?
Oh, yes. It's 2 lots right next to each other.
Wow.
This is it.
¿Dónde está la malla? Sí, todo lo que está mallado es de nosotros.
Órale, está súper bien.
You hear the chickens? What is it?
So when we came here last,
Ducks? Those are ducks.
they were
right?
just starting to build that house.
Wow, they
It's
finished
finally
that
done.
one. Wow, it's been really fun to see how this place has developed even in just in the last 2 years. But I can only imagine what this is gonna become the next 3, 5, 10. We have about 500 square meters of land here that we hope to build into, well, we're still thinking about what exactly that's gonna look like. We will love your ideas in the comments down below. What do you think we should do here? It could be a home, it could be a business.
The Eat Baila hostel.
That would be really cool. Would you stay there? I don't know. You guys let me know. Well, whatever it becomes, let us know if you're also interested in seeing the process. Like, we're hoping to start building in 2024, but whatever this becomes, we know it's gonna take some time. Maybe I'm sure it'll take years and years for us to build, but I'm so excited to just imagine what this could be in 10 years.
I was telling Dave that this reminds me of my childhood. Police.
Yup, it's like ice cream in a bag. That's what popsicles are, right?
So in Puerto Escondido, I think the biggest transformation has definitely been La Punta. La Punta was considered a sleepy backpacker town with no
neighborhood.
roads, no streets, nothing, and it's become a big party, good restaurant location.
It really boomed during the pandemic, and it has not slowed down. It's continued to grow immensely even in the last 2 years.
It's probably the transformation, the biggest transformation that Puerto Escondido has had. Some people tend to compare it to Tulum.
But this area definitely is the more party area, at least up until 11 p.m., which we had totally forgotten about. We were looking for a bar somewhere around 11 p.m. and everything was closing down, which I actually kind of like, because that makes everyone who's looking for nightlife after 11 p.m. move over to the Cicatela area. That's where the nightclubs that go up until 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning are. And this area is really cool and really popping, but only about till 11 p.m. And I think that helps to preserve so that things don't get too out of control around here.
When we first came, there was only one main street that had all the restaurants and apartments, hostels, and now it's expanding west and east.
So we're gonna show you, we're gonna walk and show you, but first we want to introduce you to this cool area right here called Zapotic. It looks like it's a pool, bar, restaurant, shops, like little park area. It's really cool. Wow, this Zapotic spot is new to us and pretty impressive. It would be really cool to do something like that over in our neighborhood too. We're technically kind of part of La Punta, but we're still a 15-minute walk from all of this, so it's got potential, I think, our area for its own atmosphere. I wonder what it's gonna look like. And then you have this building right here that wasn't going up before. This looks brand new. What do you think it's gonna be? A mall?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe like a centro comercial for
something commercial, right?
Commercial, yeah.
Wow. And then I remember when this was just going up, and now it's a full running business. So it looks like a sports bar almost. Really cool. So all these businesses from about here, that way. What direction are we talking?
North.
From let's say from the main road of the main entrance to La Punta down, there was hardly much. You had to walk or drive, or the taxi would have to drop you off all the way down towards the end where like Fish Shack is, which was one of the main things that we used to like around here. Now there's just so much more to choose from.
There's at least been like 5 or 6 extra blocks of development. Some of the establishments that didn't even have like much are now very nice, like a la burger.
Yeah.
They have all super
They've
set up with a
expanded.
beautiful kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, people are investing really well and making their businesses look very nice.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that
Transformation from jungle here to a complete party house slash gastronomical, you know.
center of Oaxaca.
The biggest concerns with the growth is the lack of investment in infrastructure.
By the government.
By the
like
government.
things are just growing so fast, and while that's good, it's also a concern like on sustainability, on the environment. There are some water issues going on, but thankfully there are a handful of people in Puerto who are fighting to advocate for eco-sustainability and push from the government, including our very own architects. The architects that we're working with to design or build our ideas, they're very heavily involved with SOS Puerto, which if you look them up on Instagram, they're super active in advocating for sustainable practices here in Puerto, like blocking the construction of high-rise resort hotels in Bacocho, which is an eco-reserve. Actually, they're trying to get it. Actually, they're working towards getting that area declared as a federally protected reserve, because if things get built without control or support or without keeping the environment in mind, it'll just be a disaster, and Puerto Escondido could fall apart. So while all of this is really exciting, we want to make sure that we're taking good care of this place so that it can thrive in a healthy way.
Last but not least, something that we also noticed is that the prices have hiked up a ton.
Yes, especially in hospitality, especially in food.
Of course,
and transportation. Sorry.
Of course, we came here during busy season, so it's even a little bit more elevated.
Yeah, the week of Christmas to New Year's, it's definitely much higher prices than average, but still, it was a lot more than expected.
Also, locals have mentioned that prices ever since COVID have gone up and they have not calmed down. So you do expect to pay more for food, expect to pay more for transportation, and even on hospitality.
For example, it used to cost 50 to 60 pesos to get from Los Odeli, which is like in Rinconada, over to Cicatela. They were charging us over 100 pesos now for that same route.
And even though we try to bring the prices down, the lowest that we got was like 90 to 100. I mean, gas prices haven't gone down at all in all Mexico, so that makes sense.
To do with it. Yeah, some cost of living is rising for the locals, so that one's understandable. But then everything else, like drinks, restaurants, like
quesadillas, they used to be $35 to $40 pesos, and now they're 60, 65. So there's an increment of an average of like 20 to 30, even 40 pesos more.
No, I would say more. I would say an average of almost 100 pesos on a lot of things, depending on what we're talking about, of course. But yeah, we would have to do the math to see exactly what, but the difference is really astronomical from a year and a half ago to today. Despite all of these changes though, Puerto Escondido does continue to have that essence, that magic in the air, in the sunset, in the water that makes it the special place that it is.
The best place in Mexico, for sure.